Hi, it's Steve from Island View Media. Today I'm going to do a quick overview of an employee work schedule. This is compatible with Microsoft Excel and Excel for the web. When you open up your workbook, you'll see 4 tabs. The first tab is your instructions. We recommend that you go through this thoroughly. They'll give you basic instructions on how to use the scheduling program. Very simple, very easy to use. There are additional instructions on some of the other pages that will help you along the way. Now open up your second tab, which is your setup tab. I've gone ahead and filled out some of these already. As you can see, there are additional instructions. They are with the black background with the blue font, and they are above each field that needs filling out. So we start with your employees field. I've already got 2 employees. I'll add an additional employee. First, enter their first name, their last name, and their rate of pay, in this case, $24. And then I have to select a status from the drop-down menu. Now, if you look over to the right here, that is a list of all the statuses that you can have for your employees. Now, you can change this any way you want. You can remove some of the statuses or add your own. The only status you won't be able to change is the active status. For the employee to show up on your schedule, you must select active. If you select any other status, as in this case with Stuart Copeland, he's on medical leave. His name has a strike through it, just as a reminder that they will not be on your schedule. Now, the next person, Andy Summers, has a strike through their name too. Now, if you select active, that strike through will go away and they will show up on the schedule, which is in the next tab. Now, after you've entered all your employees and entered all the appropriate information, you head on over to the start of the week. Now, you can choose from either Sunday or Monday for your start of the week. In this case, we use Monday. If you have a schedule that starts on Sundays, then select Sunday. Down below it is the starting date of that week. For this example, Monday, October 13th, 2025 will be our first day of the week. If you do enter an incorrect date, you'll get a warning message and you'll have to re-enter the appropriate date. Now we're scrolling down to breaks. Now this is an optional feature. If you have unpaid breaks in your business, where if an employee works a set amount of hours and anything exceeding those amount of hours, they get an unpaid break, you would enter it here. So for this example, if an employee works a minimum of 8 hours, they're entitled to a 1 hour of unpaid break. And this will show up in your scheduling. And the unpaid break length will be deducted from your total hours of that employee. Below that is overtime. If your company pays overtime, and hopefully you do, if in this example, if an employee works 8 hours or more in a day, now these are working hours. This does not include that 1 hour of unpaid breaks. But if they work more than 8 hours, they will be paid overtime. Now, just below that is the maximum hours per week. If you have employees that are paid overtime when they exceed the maximum hours per week, then it will show up on your schedule too. So in this case, we've used 40 hours. Below that is the overtime rate. Some employees may be paid 1.5 times their current rate for overtime. Some get double. Whatever the rate is, you select it here. Once this is all filled out, then you're ready to go to the schedule. This is what the schedule will look like. Now, as you notice, 2 names have shown up, but not the third. The third, as you remember, was on a medical leave, so there's no point of having them on the schedule. So it will take that into account and not put the person's name there. Now you have 12 employee spaces. Now, if your business has more than 12 employees, there are more additional spaces hidden right at the bottom here of the schedule. Now, there are instructions on how to do that on the first tab, and it's quite simple. All you have to do is select this area right here, these few rows, click unhide, and then all of a sudden you have more spaces, and you'll have up to 30 employees that you can enter. Now with the hours, as you can notice here, we have Gordon, who has been scheduled Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and he is off on Wednesday and Thursday. He has 5 shifts, as indicated here. He has 36 total hours scheduled, which is indicated here, and he qualifies for 3 hours of unpaid breaks, which would be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday, and that's indicated right here. Now, the blue columns are payable hours. So this takes the total scheduled hours and deducts the unpaid breaks and also takes off any overtime. Overtime has its own column to the right. So we'll just do some quick shifts here for Andy. And as you can see here, we've got Andy all in there. And he's got 5 shifts. He's got 22 scheduled hours. He's got no unpaid breaks. And in the end, he has 22 regular paid hours with 0 overtime. And as you can see at the bottom here, all the totals add up and give you a grand total of everything. Now, once you're done and you have this all filled out, it's as simple as going to print it. And this is what your schedule will look like when you go to print it. Now, if it doesn't look like this, then you can change your settings. Make sure you're in landscape orientation. Make sure it's set for a letter size paper. Make sure you have no borders or minimum amount of borders. And you can also fit all columns onto one page. And depending on your printer settings, you can center it horizontally and vertically so it's dead center. It just looks a lot more professional and cleaner for your employees to see it this way. And since we're only using 12 fields for this, or 12 rows for the employees, you'll need to just print up the first page only. The second and third page are blank. And then finally is the reports. So for reports, as you can see here, anything in white is automatically filled out for you. Anything in blue you need to fill out yourself. So when you do your schedule, this field here is a projected or scheduled field where all the hours that you have scheduled are in this field. It'll give you vital information on, regular pay, overtime pay, how many hours were scheduled, how many overtime were scheduled, and it'll tell you how many active employees you have, how many inactive employees you have. Now, once the week is over, and this is completely up to you, you do not need to do this. You can actually fill in what your actual sales were, your actual shifts, your actual breaks, your actual hours, rate of pay, all of that, and it will figure it out. Okay, as you can see here, once you've entered in your actual hours, it will show you the differences between your actual and what you projected or what you scheduled. If you look down below, you'll see a weather field. Now, this may not be important to your business. It might be, who knows. If you keep track of the weather, especially if you're a food business, this would come in handy. You would enter in the weather for the entire week. So if, like, say Monday was sunny and you were at 75 degrees, Tuesday was cloudy and it was a little bit cooler. Now, what's this going to do is you can print this up once you've completed it and keep it for your records. So that way, the following week or even the following year, if you need to look back and see what your sales were, what the weather was like, you can use this as a tool to help you schedule future schedulings. So if you go to print it, it'll show up, and this is what it'll look like. There should be plenty of room for you to 3-hole punch it and just file it away and use it whenever you need to. And that's about it. And that concludes the overview for the weekly employee work schedule, which is compatible with Microsoft Excel and Excel for the web. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to fire them my way, and I will answer them as quick as I can. Thank you very much, and have a great day.